Good evening. Today is Tuesday, August the 11th, and the board meeting is now called to order. It is now 6:01 p.m., and all board members and student advisors are present. Thank you for joining us. Director Chanjagiri, would you be able to read the land acknowledgement, please?
Yes, Chair. We are gathered today on the land of the Kalapuya, who are represented by the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians. The relationship between the Kalapuya people and this land continues unbroken to this day. And we offer gratitude for the land and for the generations present and past who have stewarded the land since time immemorial. We respectfully acknowledge and honor past, present, and future Native American and Indigenous students and staff of Salem-Keizer Public Schools. We invite you to join us in honoring these ancestral grounds and celebrating the resilience and strength of all Native American and Indigenous people. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Superintendent Castaneda, are there any modifications to our agenda?
There are none.
Wonderful, thank you. Before I turn it over to the superintendent for her report this evening, wanted to do a special recognition, and we have a little bit of a presentation that we would like to do. So I'm going to ask Director Guzman-Ortiz to join me. But first, Vice Chair Cynthia Richardson, we were not able to, in our last meeting, do enough of a presentation to you in acknowledgement and appreciation for your leadership these last 2 years as chair of the Salem-Keizer School Board. So we want to take a moment to honor and to recognize you.
And I've taken it out of the bag because we want to hand you over your own gavel, and not only that, but a block so you do not dent or harm any tables. With knowing how much you've loved and appreciated that gavel, but just I think I echo Chair Harnish's words around just being very grateful for your time as chair, your service. You did not only one but two very challenging years, and we really appreciate your leadership, your words of encouragement, but also I would say just grounding. You know, as a long-term educator and professional in education, you bring a breadth of experience, and it carried us through. So thank you.
Definitely.
I had to make sure it worked.
We'll have dueling gavels.
Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure serving as chair, and it's going to be a real pleasure to serve as the first vice chair this year. I really appreciate each and every one of you and all of your support. Couldn't have been successful without you, without each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, Superintendent, now I will turn things over to you for your report.
Thank you. As the person sitting between two gavels, I feel like I'm in a driver's ed car and anyone can break at any time. I just want to share that it is about a month until the start of school. But for school people, students, please cover your ears for a second. For school people, school has started. Okay, you can come back now. We have kicked off the school year in many ways over the last few weeks, but especially last and this week. We have so many things happening. So first, we kicked it off with all school and district leaders last week. Those meetings have continued, where all of our levels are meeting together to plan the year, to talk about their priorities, to align and calibrate and make sure that our opening is clear, inspirational, but also really coherent for everyone involved. We also have Jumpstart, so we have Jumpstart kindergartners this week, and it is always wonderful to welcome another group of our littlest, most enthusiastic, biggest backpacked students. And so that's happening. We also had Jumpstart for middle school. So in all ways, our schools are starting to fill up with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm. And then I also just wanted to briefly remark for our regular viewers, you might notice that things look different behind the dais. And I just want to share how happy we are to have partnered with our local tribal partners and confederated tribal partners. These are the 9 flags of all of our partners behind us, flanked by the American flag and the Oregon flag. And we've been working for a little while with them to make sure that this is right, and I feel really happy to have this be a new permanent installation behind the dais.
Yeah, beautiful.
So with that, I will hand it back to the chair.
Thank you for a great report. All right, well, it is now time for the public comment portion of our school board meeting. As a reminder, all audience members are subject to immediate removal if you engage in abusive, threatening, vulgar, or hate speech, including speech articulated on signs and clothing, which violate the district's harassment and/or the Every Student Belongs policy. Please note that we do provide an opportunity for public comment by virtual call-in, in person, or in writing. Electronic mechanisms are used for translation. Each participant has 3 minutes, and we have a countdown timer on the screen for monitoring time. The timer counts down from 3 minutes. At 30 seconds, it turns from green to yellow, and at 1 second, it turns red and plays a lovely short bell to signal that time is up. Please be mindful of your pace for our interpreters. And if the board receives written comment ahead of the meeting, the written comment will be posted on the district website. Tonight, we have 10 people who are signed up and have been selected to comment. So I'll begin with our first person for public comment is Jacob Lippert.
I'm here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Great, thank you, and thank you for being here.
Good evening, members of the board and Superintendent Castaneda. My name is Jacob Lippert. I'm the Safe Routes to School Coordinator with the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments. I'm excited to share our brief recap of our 2025-2026 school year. It was filled with some major milestones in student safety, active transportation, and community partnership. We started strong early in the fall, teaching bike safety and our Learn to Ride programs at 4 schools, helping nearly 800 students learn to ride a bike safely. Our biggest event in the fall is our Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. We had 8 schools participate in our walking events on November 14th.
We're going to bring the microphone a little closer to you.
Thank you. Most importantly, this is the first year the district embraced the day with widespread educational efforts, pioneered by our Office of Student Equity, Access, and Advancement. The effects of our combined efforts turned our previously successful event into a powerful and immersive learning experience our students will never forget. In March, we officially debuted our program's first bike fleet at Lamb Elementary. Our fleet of 1 trailer, named Heron, 35 bikes allow us to continue our bike safety education classes across the district. By September of 2026, we anticipate having another 35 bikes and a second trailer to allow us to completely support the largest schools with bike safety education. April brought a strong surge in our active transportation engagement across the district. We launched a weekly walk-and-roll school bus with Highland Elementary and a targeted effort to help increase school attendance rates on their lowest attendance days. The walk was met enthusiastically with 16 students attending regularly by the 4th walk. Oh, and I forgot my second page. Anyway, In May, we, let's see, this is why I had this all written down. In May, we had our National Walk Enrolled School Day, where we had Lamb Elementary again went ahead and pioneered our bike bus to school. Looking at next year, we have expanded from 8 schools with our bike safety education to 11 schools. This is the first time as well that we'll be teaching the schools. We're giving them the option to teach the whole school all at once. Previously, we just do grade blocks, either kindergarten to 2nd grade or 3rd grade to 5th grade. And this time, to make sure that every student is included and no one's left out, we're going to do the entire schools if they wish. So not only are we going to have our 70 bikes, we're also going to have our Learn to Ride fleet so we can support our youngest and our oldest students. So that's our update. Thank you guys so much for being so open to us and helping us in every way. We also invite every one of you to come to any of our engagement events. If there's anything you want to come be a part of, our mobile classroom, our bike education, anything like that, please let us know, and we'd be happy to get you there. Thanks.
Thank you. And next we have Nick Sayin. Welcome.
Members of the school board, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. For the record, my name is Nick Sayin. I have 2 children who will be 2nd and 4th graders at Candelaria Elementary School this fall. I serve on the Candelaria PTA board as the member at large. I'm here on behalf of the board to comment on the possibility of closing elementary schools in the 2027 school year. To begin, I want to express my appreciation for bringing this issue forward proactively and for the analytical approach that I understand has been discussed so far. I understand the site viability framework is a tool to evaluate buildings across a variety of factors. This seems like a reasonable place to begin decision-making. However, the tool appears to omit an element vital to a successful school, an element that the Candelaria PTA has spent decades nurturing, and that element is community. Community is one of the core values in the district's 2025 strategic plan, and so I want to highlight a few examples of community at Candelaria and how the PTA supports it. First, we work hard to support teachers, provide them resources, and to show them appreciation. We show up as volunteers in classrooms and on field trips. Second, we support in-class activities such as OBOB and our art literacy program. Third, we support extracurricular activities such as Math 24, Chess Club, the 100-Mile Club, an annual talent show, an annual Ice Cream and the Arts event. I'd like to tell you more about the impact of all of these, things like the field trips, the miles ran, the books read. I don't have enough time, but please understand they are impactful. Candelaria is a unified school, and so it may not surprise you that a large majority of our students report a favorable sense of belonging in the most recent Panorama survey. The result places us significantly above the district average and above the 90th percentile nationally. Importantly, all student groups reported comparable levels of belonging, reflecting meaningful progress towards inclusive and equitable outcomes. I believe that every school's community is something to cherish, but I hope I've conveyed Candelaria's community is unique, it is robust, it is a bit of lightning in the bottle, and it positions the school to welcome and support students if needed. I also hope that I have conveyed why it is essential that district staff find a way to meaningfully reflect community in the updated closure policy and criteria that I understand you as a board will be asked to adopt in September. In closing, I want to express sympathy and empathy and wish you success. Our entire PTA, all of us, are counting on you to navigate through this process and find the best possible outcomes for the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate you coming tonight. Next, we'll have Troy Hickman. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. watching my timer, make sure I don't go over. Good evening. My name is Troy Hickman, and I'm here tonight as a parent of 3 children at Candelaria Elementary School. I am not on the PTA board. I'm here as an involved parent, and thank you for all your time. And I want to address something that is not on the agenda, I realize, but the recent announcement of elementary school closures. I want you to know that I support your decision as a district, and I know that I'm not alone. There's many Candelaria parents who feel the same way, that we understand that the times are changing and enrollment and fiscal needs are changing, and we expect and understand adoption, and we want to support you through that and do it in the way that we can. We simply ask that as you make these difficult decisions, that you take a close look at what is working and think about how those strengths can become part of the solution. When my eldest child was going to enter into elementary school, my wife and I were in the process of looking at houses, and so we were able to look at private and public schools and spent a long time talking to administrators, visiting schools, talking to principals, and figuring out what school we wanted our children to grow up in, because it's such an important part of their growing up and becoming an identity for them. And when we were done, the answer was clear. It was going to be Candelaria, because Candelaria was working, and it continues to work. I see that working every day. One of the things that stood out to me as I was evaluating schools was the relationship between the school and the families. At Candelaria, parents don't come, drop off their children, and leave. They drop off their children and they go into the school and they volunteer their time and their efforts. They work alongside teachers. They help on field trips and school activities. They organize events. They support programs, raise money, and help wherever there is a need. This creates a partnership between parents and teachers that our children experience every day. Candelaria has a vibrant, varied, and full offering of programs that extends well beyond the basic classroom experience. There are opportunities in academics, art, athletics, reading, culture, music, performance, and competitions. There are field trips and special events. There are programs that challenge students academically, and others that give them an opportunity to discover a talent or interest that they didn't even know they had. Not every child finds their place in the same activity, but Candelaria gives children many places to find their place where they belong. They remember the teacher who believed in them, the parent who volunteered in their classroom, the activity where they discovered that they were good at something, the field trip they talked about for weeks, the opportunity to stand in front of their classmates and perform or present something that they were proud of. Those experiences build confidence, connection, and a sense of school, and a sense that the school is a place where they belong. Candelaria has built something special, not simply a school building, but a community that engages parents, dedicated teachers, and children who have opportunities to learn, participate, explore, and belong. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And next, we'll call up Amy Laursen. Welcome.
Just getting my notes. Good evening. My name is Amy Larson. I want to thank you all again for giving us an opportunity to come and speak to you. I was born and raised here in Salem. I went to K through 12 here, Salem Heights, Candelaria, Judson, and Sprague. I've moved out of the area multiple times, but when COVID happened and housing prices went up, we were living in Bend at the time and we had to choose, and of course we came back here. My family is here, and just so happened that we moved into the Candelaria School District. Her kindergarten classroom was my 5th grade classroom, which was very special to me. In fact, actually, when we moved here, we attempted to get an in-district transfer for her to go to McKinley because we live so close to McKinley, because it worked better for our family, for her to be able to walk. And walking up to Candelaria is not a feat necessarily that we all wanted to do with her all the time. Anyway, so I'm grateful for the fact that that didn't work out. As you've heard from some Candelaria parents already, and I think there are some others who had requested to speak tonight, it's a beautiful community. And since they have spoken so much on that, I'm going to focus more on what I originally planned to come in for. I am also a nurse. And when I hear about us having to close these elementary schools, my heart goes to what the impact is going to be on the children directly. I did not have quite enough time to prepare myself and research some of the topics that I feel like are informing what I'm saying today. But I believe that school community in the elementary stage is so vitally important, and that connections are easier to be made in smaller environments. I understand that we are under difficult circumstances right now. And my hope and faith in all of you and anybody in the decision-making process is that you consider the impacts of pulling students out of their home school environment and moving them into a new one, especially those who have special needs, higher needs, who are underserved, the impacts those will have, and take that into consideration as you're considering the sites. I also want to comment on the fact that when I was trying to find some information to help inform my statements tonight, I was trying to find public information, and I'm a college-educated woman, and I had difficulty finding the information I was looking for, and I can only imagine how much more difficult it is for our other community members who are not as well educated to be able to find that information. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming. Next, we'll call up Ross Schwartzendruber. Okay, I'm not seeing Ross. All right. We'll move forward to Michael Lewis. Welcome.
I'm Dr. Michael Lewis, and I'm the father of a child at Englewood Elementary. 2 weeks ago, the superintendent announced a plan to close up to 20% of the elementary schools in the district, and this is the only chance for public comment prior to your rulemaking session. After your August 8th retreat, I became concerned with the limited scope and hidden biases within the 7 indicators listed in the long-range facility plan. Descriptions of transportation and safety do not match the local context of our neighborhood nor our lived experience. Walking to school was portrayed as dangerous to Englewood families, with no mention of the benefits of equitable access, student health, and community belonging. You say we need to consolidate under-capacity schools, but the plan's calculation of school capacity includes classrooms converted to other uses, de-escalation spaces, small group rooms, etc. This metric penalizes older schools and overestimates district capacity under current school design requirements. Further, in my letter on August 9th, I showed that Salem-Keizer's educational adequacy scores, EAS, have no statistical correlation with academic outcomes in our district. The highest third-grade assessment scores occur in the school with the second lowest EAS. Englewood, with half our kids experiencing poverty and the lowest EAS, have better assessment scores than half the schools in the district. What educational adequacy and capital improvements and equity parity do measure is the age of a given facility and Salem-Keizer's historical investment choices. Past bond funds have been invested in state-of-the-art facilities for some schools, while basic heating and cooling, lighting, and ADA access has not been provided for poorer students. That is inequity. Adopting closure rules today that ignores this funding history continues to perpetuate the same injustice on already marginalized communities. 15 schools lack AC. Installing mechanical cooling at Englewood would be a $3 million investment. That is less than 1/3 of 1% of Salem-Keizer's $1.1 billion annual budget, or less than 1/2 of the $690 million 2018 bond. The problem is not limited to one school. In the August 8th meeting, board members suggested that students and parents whose schools are dissolved will find hope in the improved building conditions of the schools they are consolidated into. Should Englewood close, most other schools within 2 miles face worse physical problems. The only nearby school with sufficient unused capacity has intermittent AC, with the plan reporting that classrooms sometimes reach 90 degrees, plumbing consistently fails, and existing school traffic already generates neighborhood complaints. Your closure plans must take into account Salem-Keizer's geographic disinvestment. Conspicuously missing to date from your criteria is any attempt to include the human elements that matter most to our children's education. quality teachers, engaged parents, and community support. Inaccuracy and inequity are built into the current metrics by which you will choose which schools to close. I urge the district to adopt the scoring adjustments outlined in my August 9th letter. Thank you.
Thank you. And next I'll call Susie Rice.
Good evening. My name is Susie Rice, and I'm here to address you all about a program that has left McNary High School, a very important one, JROTC. It's a program that provides leadership skills, giving back to our community, and lifelong ways to challenge themselves and to be the best young adults we have out there. They're our future. I'm here tonight on behalf of many folks who were not able to make it. Our mayor, Kathy Clark, who stepped into another board meeting. We have many ROTC students right behind me. These young adults are amazing humans. ROTC provides a program for kids that maybe are not able to do athletics, financially can't afford athletics, simply aren't interested in athletics. It still teaches them the core values of leadership and working as a team and hearing from other adults to form them into better humans as we grow. I also work for CASA of Marion County and the impact our foster youth have in Marion County. This is a program that they could be a part of because they could go to a different school in ROTC. That doesn't work just with sports. So I think it's important that we look at everybody. Their leadership skills I've witnessed personally, not just my daughter's one of them, but they're the ones cleaning up the ever-growing graffiti in Keizer. They're volunteering themselves. They work alongside our police departments, our fire department, to learn more and give back. This is a true sense of belonging for these young adults. They deserve the chance to learn different skills, to meet new people, and really, again, give back. Our next leadership kiddos, handful of them here right now, they've spent 3 years in this program. This was their year. They are going to be the senior leaders, our future in our country. Doesn't mean they're going to the military. It just means that they're learning new skills and abilities to speak well, dress well. You'll see them. They're in suits tonight on a summer night. So I simply implore you to work together with the community. I'm raising my hand right now. I will stand up and help run the program. I will find sponsors for the program, but whatever you all can do to help us bring this program back, it was such a disservice to our communities and to our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming. And next, I will call up April Carpenter.
I would first
Welcome.
like to say thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is April Carpenter. I am a parent of the ROTC program. I have a child that just completed 4 years, and I now have a sophomore who's in his second year. Like I said, I've had the privilege of being a parent of the initial ROTC program, and I am beyond grateful that you guys had picked the program up and transitioned it to the NDCC 2 years ago. With that being said, I was quite saddened to hear that our teacher was stepping down from the program. So here we are, wanting to reinstate the active Air Force is willing to step in where they once stepped down from. People don't realize that the ROTC program what the program can do for our students. The ROTC program has come into the community without any hesitation and is willing to step in to roles most people don't realize or even think about. The cadets have done community service with the graffiti cleanup in Keizer, helped out at the Keizer Library book sale. They just finished distributing to all 42 elementary schools for the literacy program this last week. They also are part of the Keizer Lions Club and the Keizer American Legions with their color guards. They've also put our name out there with the Blazer games doing color guards. So we're trying to involve everybody. They also have cleaned up the Keizer Civic Center whenever they're needed for our veteran communities, as well as the veteran community link-ups that they put on every year. The RTC program has more than, the RTC program is more than that, though. They are a community that have built each other up. It helps these kids grow into adults. The program is a great way for students who are looking to find their place. It helps to build confidence and a sense of belonging. Kids have come into the program with broken families and have left with a sense of feeling of belonging. There is structure there, a second family. Everyone's encouraged. They level up together, and they tend to gravitate towards each other. It helps kids evolve, and it gives them a sense of purpose. It also gives them discipline, and it teaches them respect. So I'm just asking for you guys to reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. Next, I'll call up Carter Lopez. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share my story. My name is Carter Lopez, and this is why I think we should bring back the JROTC for McNary High School. Think back to a place where it didn't matter what grade you were in, what you looked like, or who you were outside of that room. A place where everyone knew each other, everyone mattered, and you could walk in and immediately feel like you belonged. For a lot of us at McNary, that place was JROTC. McNary's NDC.
I'm so sorry, sir. Could you slow down just a little bit for our interpreters?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Do you want me to restart?
No, you're fine.
Okay. For a lot of us at McNary, that place was JROTC, but today that place is gone. McNary's NDCC program was shut down because our instructor could no longer continue teaching NDCC while also handling his other classes. The school needed a replacement instructor, but there wasn't enough funding to make that happen, and because of that, the program that so many students had became a part of disappeared. But when I think about ROTC, I don't just think about the class, I think about the people. I think about walking into that room and seeing people from completely different grades and backgrounds, people who I probably would have never became friends with otherwise. Somehow, ROTC brought us all together. I remember the jokes, the conversations, the activities, and just having fun with the people around me. But looking back, I realized that we were learning a lot more than what was written on a lesson plan. We were learning leadership, we were learning discipline, we were learning responsibility, teamwork, and how to hold ourselves accountable. And most importantly, we were learning how to be there for each other. ROTC became a home for a lot of people. Everyone was treated like a brother or a sister. It didn't matter who you were, everyone had a place, and everyone mattered. And that didn't just stay inside the classroom. Our ROTC program gave back to the community. We helped around town, like graffiti cleanup, and this summer we actually, a summer curricular program where we helped put the literacy inside of most elementary schools. We participated in community service and represented McNary. The program gave students opportunities to serve others while teaching them the values that come with that service. That's why I believe funding ROTC isn't paying to bring back another class. It's an investment. It's an investment in students who are learning how to lead. It's an investment in our community. It's an investment in giving students a place where they can belong. And it's an investment in helping young people grow into responsible, respectful adults. So I'm asking you to fund McNary's ROTC program and give us the opportunity to bring it back, because when we bring ROTC back, we're not just bringing back a class, we're bringing back the friendships, we're bringing back the leadership, we're bringing back to the community. We're bringing back a place where everyone could walk through the door and know where they belonged. ROTC wasn't just a class. For many of us, it was home. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And next, I'll call Broderick Smith. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
All right, I want to start off by thank you guys again for letting me come. This is my second time coming here. As you guys have heard from countless before me and many few years ago, ROTC is a home. It's a home not only to the cadets, but to the cadets that aren't even in the program anymore. We have past cadets from 2, 3, 4 years ago reaching out to me online, trying to see what they can do. Most in the service. Some in Texas at camp, some over across the country in the East Coast for basic. We've had multiple people come here tonight, some cadets, not even cadets, just people that love the program because it gives everybody a home and it helps everybody grow no matter where you come from, no matter your race, orientation, or political beliefs. You find people that think like you and find people that want to connect with you. I mean, ROTC's changed me. If you told me 3 years ago that I'd be speaking in front of you all 3 separate times, I would have told you you were crazy. Plus, I've done this countless other times with other organizations. The 40 and 8 down in Lebanon, their American Legion has donated in total about $4,000 to $5,000 to help the program, and they're not even from the city. They're 50 miles south of us? So the program matters. I mean, you guys heard it from Carter, from Miss Carpenter and Miss Rice. It's an investment. It's an investment in the future, and that future is ultimately what's going to shape the world. It teaches kids their personal responsibility. It allows us to screw up and make mistakes because we're going to make mistakes. We're kids. I mean, everyone does. But it allows us to make mistakes in situations where the damage is controlled and we're not screwing up our lives, and it's allowing us to grow. I mean, ROTC has changed who I am for the greater good and has drastically increased who I am. I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for that program. And I'll be honest, when I first joined the JROTC program, I just viewed it as a tool, something to put on my resume, get through it, because I wanted to go to the Air Force Academy. I would have never thought I would have formed the connections I've formed now with cadets that graduated 2, 3 years ago that I am still in contact with. That is how it changes you. You walk in expecting it to be one thing, and no matter what, it's always something different, and it's always something better. It may not be a typical, you sit down, take notes, take a test, but you're learning stuff in ways that school can never teach you. You're learning life experience, and you're learning how to be responsible and how to take care of not only yourself, but the people around you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. All right, I'll give one last call out for Ross Schwarzendruber in case he slipped in and I missed. Okay. All right, well, thank you all for coming tonight. Really appreciate it. So that concludes our public comment portion. And I think Superintendent, you had something you wanted to interject?
Yes, thank you. So for those of you who are new to our meetings, we don't respond directly to public comment, although we do gratefully receive it. Given that the school closure conversation is such an important one, I want to use this opportunity to share with everyone the timeline of the phase that we're in so that everybody understands exactly what's happening and when it's happening and the ways that our community can participate. So first, last weekend, on 8/8, we had about a 2-hour board discussion at our retreat, and anyone can watch the video from that board meeting on our website and learn a little bit more. Bonus is that you can watch it at 1.5 speed, and, pro tip, I'm just saying. Then in addition, our school closure website is up, and there are various things that you can do there, but what I want to make sure people know about is that there is a direct place there to ask questions and get information about the process and about the various engagement opportunities. We'll be posting FAQs there. On 8/25 will be the board's first read of the school, the recommended policy that's going to guide school closures. This is an important document because while it is not going to name the schools, what it is going to do is start off the board discussion about the criteria that will be used to make these important decisions. Tonight you've heard about the site viability framework, which means that we have multiple people in the audience who are paying close attention to the matter of criteria. I also just want to add that in addition to the more quantitative measures around facilities, like specific facilities issues, there will be other elements, I anticipate, of the board policy that relate to things like neighborhoods. So that'll be on the August 25th, and at that meeting there will be an opportunity for public comment as well. And then on September 8th, which happens through unfortunate coincidence to be the first day of school, we will have another board meeting that is a business meeting, so you will be welcome for public comment there as well. And that is scheduled as the board's second read discussion and possible vote on the policy that guides the school closure decisions. At the conclusion of that meeting, if the board adopts a policy at that meeting, which I anticipate and hope that they will, then our staff have the information we need to begin working through a list of schools and beginning to prepare a recommended closure list. That will be coming from the staff, and we'll be presenting that on October, I believe it's the 13th, which is, okay, thank you, October 13th. That then kicks off another round of about 2 months of community engagement. We have prioritized community engagement duration for the time when we believe the community is going to be most engaged in this, which is after the list of school names that are recommended is out. And then we have a recommendation for a board vote on the closure list in their December business meeting. I do not have that date off the top of my head. So I just want to make sure people understand the timeline and the next steps in the process. We will be scheduling community engagement events after the list of the recommended closure sites is released. And we will be adding a special board meeting to ensure that there is even more time for board discussion on this important topic and extended time for public comment. Thank you.
Thank you for that, and I assume that we will be hearing that lots over the next few months, just to make sure that we are all really clear on the steps in the process and how important that is. All right, well, board, we are at a natural break time in our agenda, so I'm going to go ahead and let us take a 10-minute break so that we can transition. So let's come back at, I'm going to give you 11 minutes, 6:55. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is the approval of the resolution number 202627-01 for the multiple housing tax incentive program application 590 Willow Street Northeast, Salem, Oregon. As a reminder, the board heard a first reading on this item at our July 28th work session. Superintendent Castaneda, is there anything else to add?
I
didn't realize that Cynthia wasn't there. You're going.
She'll be back any moment.
Okay.
I have nothing else to add. I will invite our Chief Operating Officer, Paul Odenthal, into this conversation, as you all may have more questions.
Awesome. Thank you. And my apologies to the first chair. I thought she was sitting right there, so my apologies. All right. Well, do I have a motion to approve resolution number 202627?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion, and with Dr. Chanjagiri. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I don't know who seconded first, but I heard your voice. Director Fuller for a second. All right. At this time, I'll open up the floor for discussion. Is there any discussion? So please raise your hand, flag me down. All right. Well, if, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies, Dr. Chanjagiri.
Oh, it's all right.
Yes.
It's okay. I just want to say, we had a good discussion last time, but I still feel we have to support the way I'll be voting in support of this resolution so that we can bring more housing. It's good for our families and teachers and staff, and everybody can have more ability to stay and make our schools good. So I think this is the way to go, And it's one of the things I was learning is I hope over time there's a much more simplified and streamlined way of getting approval, because they're literally waiting 2 years to get the needed approval to build a house. I think people will leave their job and go to some other, or find a job in some other town where there's more housing, so we can become more competitive for good staff to come to our town and work. That's what I really feel.
Thank you.
The reason why I would be supporting this.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Chanjagiri. Yes, and Director Guzman-Ortiz.
Thank you so much. I know we had this question on the first reading, but I would just say that as we were, is it first reading this time around? Director Paul Odenthal, if you could once again restate the tax implications for the school districts, which I believe I know, but I just think it's so important because, we're talking about a tax exemption here, and I just want to make sure that we are clear and that the public is clear.
Thank you for that question, Director Guzman-Ortiz. The tax implications are there's no impact to the school district. This area is in an urban renewal area. The city's determined that the public benefits outweigh the tax, which would not flow to us as well. So within that urban renewal area, there's no revenue impact to the school district.
Thank you so much.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. Did you have?
I guess just a little comment.
Sure.
I'm just, having been born and raised here as well, I don't know, just sometimes it's funny, all the complexities and emotions that come with a topic like this, and always it was neat when we had homes, and we'd like it to be more homes, but understand the need and the fact that heart and dedication has gone into creating this small complex. And thanks for reiterating what you did for everyone to hear on how it affects our end. I know that the other day I was looking at a statistic for Salem and for Keizer, and it said that we rated 3 out of 10 for families wanting to come in to our cities and raise their kiddos under our district and such. And so maybe things like this will make it on the same scale, our housing was higher, and I can't help but think that's the reason why. So maybe things like this will help us have more families too. So thanks everyone that put in work.
Thank you. Yes, Director Fuller.
Thank you. I think when the last meeting we had, when we had the opportunity to ask questions directly to the developer, I asked the developer, who was a really good sport, a lot of questions I probably should have been asking the city. I'm going to support this and vote for it to pass. I think that housing is important. However, I do still chew in a little bit on what we give away with the property tax abatement in the beginning, and the value that could have in our community, while also understanding that a lot of times that property tax abatement is what is the difference between the developer completing the project or not. So I certainly don't want to create an environment where builders can't build housing, but I will be supporting the motion because we need more housing in Salem. Thank you.
If I can respond. I'd just like
Yes.
to comment that subsequent to the last meeting, we've met with the city staff to discuss this area, and we have a commitment from the staff that we will be contacted before it goes to council, and we'll be involved in the planning process, and we'll be able to, they'll consider the school district's opinions earlier in the process. So hopefully when we come next time with one of these, we'll have better information and better involvement.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that work. Appreciate that follow-up. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor of approving resolution number 202627-01 for multiple unit housing tax incentive program application 590 Willow Street, Northeast Salem, Oregon, as presented, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, looks like it's unanimous. All right, well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. All right. Next, it is that time of the year when the board accepts nominations for the Oregon School Boards Association Board of Director positions. This year, nominations are open for position number 11 on the Board of Directors. As a reminder, there must be a majority vote for all four board members to select a nominee. First, we'll start by taking nominations for position 11 on the Board of Directors. Do I have a nomination for the OSBA Board of Directors, position 11 for the Marion County region? So, I'm taking nominations.
We're just playing with you now.
I guess you are. All right.
Raise your hand at the same time. You can pick Santi. He has his hand up too.
Oh my
No, it's
goodness.
okay, you guys. I'm just scratching my
We're
head.
just taking nominations at this point, and then we'll do our motions. Director Guzman-Ortiz.
Thank you. I would like to nominate Director Jennifer Parker. I will state that I have served on the OSBA Board of Directors I finished off one term. If you all recall, there was a point somebody withdrew or transitioned, and so I stepped in, and I am currently on the Board of Directors. I believe in allowing others also to step up for leadership positions, and I am invested in the ongoing work of the district, and I just, wanting to make sure that there's opportunities for others. And Director Jennifer Parker, you are one of our newer members to the board, and I have seen you be committed and dedicated, ask great questions, and I believe that you would be a great representative for Salem-Keizer, but also Region 11 on OSBA.
Thank you. All right, do I have other nominations? Other names to put forward? All right, now, if there are no others to put on the slate, do I have a motion to nominate Director Jennifer Parker for the OSBA Board of Directors position number 11? I'll take a motion. Director Fuller.
I will happily make that motion. Jennifer, you and I came on the board at the same time, and similar to what Director Guzman-Ortiz was saying, you are so engaged and so prepared for these meetings, and I really admire that. And your questions a lot of times are ones that are like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So this motion's not coming from a place of jealousy, but I am. It's been a really nice experience sitting next to you on the board in our first year, and let's do it again. And good luck on the nomination.
So super. All right, and do I have a second?
I will.
Director Chandagiri, thank you very much. All right, so we have a first and a second. I would like to say all those in favor in the nominating Director Jennifer Parker for the OSBA Board of Directors, position number 11, raise your hand and say aye. Aye.
I'm glad you did that, Jenny.
Oh, awesome. All right, so it looks like it was unanimous. And I just want to say thank you so much, Director Parker, for being willing to step forward and up and into this role. It's exciting to have you there and look forward to serving with you in that capacity. So thank you. Thank you. All right. All right, so next, sorry. All right, so just a little reminder that Ashley will be working with you to get all of the paperwork filled out and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, next on our agenda is the first reading for our performance growth targets and results policy 2, academic performance. Tonight, we'll hear from Director McElroy, and following his presentation, we'll have time for clarifying questions and then a board discussion. Director McElroy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and good evening, Chair Harnish, board directors, student advisors, and Superintendent Castaneda. What we're going to talk about today is at the heart of what policy governance is. It's what grounds us in the most important work that we do, our student outcomes. And so as Chair Harnish teed up, we want this to be a conversation. We want to make sure that we are focused on the right things for our students and our system in the years to come. I'm going to start with a little bit of a reminder. So the first few slides we've seen before, but just to tee up a little bit of the context, the background, and the process that we're in before we review a recommendation that we're going to bring to the board this evening. First, as a reminder, this comes on the heels of Senate Bill 141, the new state accountability bill for schools across the entire state of Oregon, again, focused on student outcomes. The good news is this is not new for us. This is the work that we have been doing year in and year out, thanks to the structure of outcomes-based accountability we've always had. Second, we're committed to the board's role in this. We are not required to bring these PGTs to the board. We could be submitting them right now via a form to the state and move on. But we believe that your role is critical in ensuring that we're choosing the right outcomes and the right targets to be accountable to. It is going to get a little complex because we're going to talk about what are board goals, what are state PGTs, and what are we prioritizing. And we're going to break down each of those components in the recommendation that you're going to see. The next two slides are just reminders, so you have them in front of you, of the different metrics that are part of Senate Bill 141 and the new accountability framework. There are 7 metrics that all districts are setting targets around. Then there is a set of 5 metrics that districts must choose one out of. And so the recommendation that you'll see in a few minutes are going to look at which of those 5 metrics we're going to choose and which of those 7 metrics we're going to prioritize. This recommendation looks at 5 different criteria of what we're prioritizing and why. First, it has to align with what our community values. And you, the board, are the representatives that. You are the duly elected public officials that the public says represents our voice in this process. Second, we also want to make sure it's coherent with what we're currently doing. And at the heart of this recommendation, you're going to see us not just be consistent and coherent with our current work, but we're going to double down on it. Third, we're going to center on our core value of equity. We're going to look at targets that really ensure that we're driving growth not just for all students, but for focal students as well. This next one's a little bit technical, but we're going to recommend metrics that accurately measure the outcomes we care about. And you'll see a little bit more in a minute as to why that is and isn't behind one of the metrics we recommend. And we want to finally win for kids. We want to see growth and aggressive targets that really show that we can move outcomes for students. And finally, the technical note that I'll give on this is this forms the basis of the superintendent's evaluation, but we're not recommending that start right away. We are under a month away from the start of school. We want to give schools the continuity and the focus of the outcomes we're already working on. This policy is going to go into effect the following school year, giving us time to bridge and ramp up to some of these new outcomes that are still continuous but are not changing the things that we're focused on a month before the start of school. Okay, that was a quick crash course reminder. Now we're going to go into the heart of the recommendation itself. And again, just want to say that this is what matters most. This is when we keep the main thing, and focus on student outcomes. I also want to say that we want goals that represent. I got a little lag. Oh. I will, great, it's in front of you. We'll go with that. We want these to be 100%. We want every student to graduate, every student to read on grade level, every student to be proficient in math and science and have CTE experiences and be biliterate by the time they graduate. And we know we have to focus on outcome accountability that ensures we're hitting meaningful progress towards that long-term vision for every student. I'm reminded of a quote that one of our level directors shared at our all leadership kickoff last week. And it's that we don't rise to the ambition of our goals, we fall to the levels of our systems. We are asking you to help us prioritize what is most important and what is the expectation to get us there. And while we would love to say 100% of students for every single outcome, we want to make sure that we're accountable to a rigorous and attainable goal year after year after year. So what you're going to see in a minute are our recommendation for that local option metric, a recommendation for an SKPS only metric, one that continues something that we have been focused on in our schools and at this board for multiple years, and then targets for a particular set of priority goals, just 3 that really focus at the heart of academic achievement for our students. And what that means is there are going to be metrics left behind, and they are not easy choices. But we are bringing to you a recommendation that sets ambitious targets for the core work of what public schools do, which is academic preparedness for our students. You'll see in front of you, but not on the screen, color coding. So I'll read through it as if there is color coding, but also just speak into the room as well. The first 3 goals, those are our priority board goals. 3rd grade ELA, 8th grade math, 9th grade on track. For each of these metrics, you will see an all student target and a focal group student target. As a reminder, that focal group student target is a separate additional target that looks at combined focal students. So every student that is either, for example, non-white, an English learner, economically disadvantaged, has an IEP, and a few other additional criteria from the state. Every one of these metrics are meant to improve over the time frame of the goals and to close that gap for students. In a minute, I'm going to go through a little bit more detail slide by slide of how we chose and why our rationale for each of these different levels, but I'm going to give a preview first. Next are our 2 incremental board goals. So these are, again, going to go into the results policy, part of the superintendent's evaluation. Here, the local option metric that we're recommending we select is seal of biliteracy. That is coherent with the work that we're already doing, our nation-leading dual language programs, and also valuing the strength and asset of a community that is already heavily biliterate. And we want to be able to recognize those students continually in the future. Every time we see a student wearing that shawl across graduation that says, I am literate in multiple languages, that is an achievement that is one of the best in the state for what we have. And next, our local only metric that we're going to recommend is sense of belonging. This is continuous with what we've already been tracking and monitoring. We believe it's an important early driver of student engagement, attendance, and success. But then you will also see then the metrics that we are not recommending for part of the board goals. Graduation, K2 regular attenders, K-12 regular attenders, and 5-year completer rates. It's not because these results don't matter. It is because we are making an intentional trade-off on the academic excellence and attainment of students in 3rd grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade. And not because those are different then, but because those are the things that get our students to that final stage. Okay, lots of word on this slide. I'm not going to read all of it. I want to drill in on the most important thing, which is the work our schools, our teachers, and our staff are doing day in and day out for grade level instruction in our buildings. These 3 metrics focus us on that, on grade level instruction, focused on high quality instructional texts, assessments that track whether or not our students are learning on a monthly basis, and then ultimately, are they showing that learning in 3rd grade ELA, 8th grade math, and 9th grade on track? Again, for the next set, incremental board goals, these are going to be part of the evaluation. They're going to continue to be part of what we're going to look at, own those monthly monitoring reports over the course of the year. These are choices for us, but we believe they are important choices that reflect the strengths of our system and the strengths of our students and the strengths of our families. We know that sense of belonging is a necessary driver of attendance. We know that Seal by Literacy recognizes students and the great investments that we've made in them and they in themselves. And that's why we want to continue monitoring them as part of a formal process. And then finally, the hard decisions. Again, it's not that they don't matter. We're still going to be, for the state, submitting targets that see year-over-year improvement. There's still going to be things that we track and monitor as part of our school work. But I want to drill in an example for K2 regular attenders to really prove this point. We know that's a strong driver of academic excellence. We know that students coming to school matter. And our schools are still going to be focused on breaking down barriers, building engagement, and making sure that the kids we have in our buildings every day are learning at grade level. And that's where we need to focus first. Not on pivoting the work of our schools, they're still doing that work, but we're relentlessly focused on the outcome, which is academics. And for graduation, we know that when students can read on grade level, do arithmetic on grade level, they can pass freshman year courses. And if they are academically prepared to do that and stay on track, it's not a matter of recovering credit, it's about getting it the first time. That is how we move those long-term results. And finally, the unselected local metrics. So these are the 4 metrics the state has also said could be included in the local option choices. A few different reasons we've chosen to not include these. These are go a little bit row by row. First, 5th grade science. Right now, the core focus of elementary is on ELA. It's to be able to learn to read so we can read to learn. That would be a massive pivot in the content and the focus of teacher professional learning time, of collaboration amongst teams. It's not something we're recommending, even though, again, we believe that science is important. Academic growth, quite honestly, this is the metric we would have loved to have chosen. It doesn't exist. The state has yet to define a metric definition. There is no state baseline. There is no state target. We internally will be tracking, monitoring, and reporting to you 3 times a year the results of interims, but not bound by a particular metric or metric definition that has yet to exist. Career and Workforce Readiness, or CTE, we have amazing CTE programs, no doubt. But we also know those are the results of long-term and sustained investment that isn't necessarily something we can move in a short time frame. It's something that we're going to continue to offer for our students. It's great opportunities for things like CTEC for all the different courses in every one of our high schools, and those are still going to be valuable experiences for our students. But again, our high schools need to be directly focused on rigorous instruction. And finally, post-secondary readiness. This one looks at things like AP, IB, and dual credit and college courses. Again, going right back to it, having strong foundations in academic coursework makes this attainable, but only when those systems are in place. Okay, as a quick little bit of next step before I open it up for discussion and questions, what we need from you tonight is if you want us to look at or recommend a different set of metrics or a different target, a really clear directive to do that. This is going to come back in the next board meeting as a second read of the entire results policy to be voted on September 8th. So we do need really clear conversation and direction adjustments to bring back to you in those next two meetings. And with that, I will open up to any questions, followed by conversation.
Thank you so much, Director McElroy. Really appreciate it. So board, this is where I'm going to ask for a call for any clarifying questions based on what we have heard. And then following those, I will open it up for discussion. So are there any clarifying questions from what was presented?
Is there anybody from that side? You can.
You do? Yeah, a question? Did you have a question, Dr. Chandragiri? Okay, Director Chandragiri, what's your question?
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want a couple of clarifying questions. You know, you talk about sense of belonging, and we have been having incremental increase in the way traditionally, and we have years of data. So is there any possibility of, you know, having us to have a very aspirational goal of, say, 90% plus of sense of belonging using Panorama as a survey, and then start mapping backwards, saying what is working, what is not working? Is there a way to standardize our intervention? We heard from the students from JROTC that little program seems to have almost like 100% sense of belonging. I mean, they're really amazing way to help them develop patriotism towards our nation and being good citizens, all that we heard just now. So because year after year we have been screening, but screening without a standardized evidence-based intentional intervention is probably very difficult to understand what is working and what is not working, and why do we need to continue doing it in an incremental way. Here are the reasons why I believe this is important. Because, you know, sense of belonging, the way I see, there is a need to belong for everybody. Sense of belonging is more an underlying cross-cutting thing that affects all other goals that you mentioned, and safety, etc. So what would that look like, and why, is there any reason why we have not used an aspirational goal of, let's say, 100% or 90+%, and then work backwards for this?
I'm going to tease apart the two different parts of that. I think one, from the purpose of, should that be an aspirational outcome? I think that's a conversation we'd love the board to have across all of you tonight, to see if it is the case that we do want to make that a priority metric. From a perspective of, is 90% attainable, we have brought to you targets that we believe for the priority goals are very rigorous, but also attainable. For incremental goals, they are incremental. They are not massive priority areas. The net result of, for example, telling us to prioritize things like sense of belonging would be coming back to you with a more aggressive, but also rigorous and attainable goal. To the point of aspirational, again, it goes back to, we believe we want 100% of students to belong every single day. That's the work that every single staff member and every single school leader is doing. We want to make sure that these goals also balance that relative to real, true outcomes-based accountability. The superintendent's evaluation is 80% driven by whether we hit those targets for our students within the executive limitations. So I would probably tease apart two different conversations. Is that metric potentially attainable? And then should that be the metric we prioritize?
Thank you. Director Guzman-Ortiz, did you have a clarifying question?
Oh man, I have so many questions. Where do I start? looking at the table, this is just going to be really hard for us. I know, and first of all, thank you to Director McElroy and the team, who I know has spent a lot of time probably swapping goals in and out, what's priority, what's incremental, what do we recommend for PGTs. When I'm looking at the priority goals, for example, if I take a look at 8th grade math, the current numbers, we're aiming from 21.8 to 32.8. That seems, that's a very low number that we have currently, right, in terms of like our current outcomes. When I look at 9th grade on track, it's on the higher end. But then when I go down to PGTs, there are some of those PGTs that are lower numbers, our current outcomes. And so this is just really hard because, and you've spoken to this around where it's not that we're choosing one thing or another for our kiddos, it's rather where's the energy going? And can you speak a little bit maybe to that, of the choice for 9th grade on track, seeing that we are over 80% for both target and focus groups, whereas there are some of the PGTs that are currently in the PGT recommendation section that are at the lower end of outcomes. I don't know, did that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I think maybe an example for, it's not necessarily a PGT only, but CELA by literacy, right? It's 12%. That does feel low on paper. It's also the case that, and especially for our focal group students, we have one of the highest rates for large districts in the entire state. So there is a lot of things to celebrate, even in some of the numbers that feel lower. On the point of K2 regular attenders or K12 regular attenders, which I think might be part of the why PGT only for those if they're so low, it's really, I think, a matter of focus and whether we see attendance as an outcome itself or as a driver of other outcomes. And it's where and how schools spend their time. So if you can imagine a student who might be incredibly proficient, right, in the level 3 or level 4 of both math and ELA or by the 5th grade, but they're not a regular attender, right? That's a very specific focus of improving student attendance for that particular student, where it might not be the case where if we put that equal to a student that might not be proficient, but is a regular attender. Schools are still going to be looking at attendance data to ensure that students who are struggling because of attendance are there every day. In the same way, they're also encouraging every family to bring every kid every day as well. And again, it's not a matter of what is more or less important other than what really do we need to focus on to drive the most important work or the most critical work of a school system.
Thank you. Any other questions before we open it up for discussion? Director
Benson, it's okay.
Yep. And then we'll move to Sadia.
Thank you. So you can correct me if I'm wrong if this doesn't fall under clarifying questions, truly. I just wanted to make sure, so how we arrived at these measures as a district. So in incremental board goals, these were both from the sense of belonging and CELA by literacy, from the large marginal outcome of the questionnaire that we did in the community 2.5 years ago, or is it just sense of belonging? Because that leads to my actual clarifying question.
I think in order to answer your question, I want to scroll back through a little bit of history so people can follow along with this. So 3 years ago was the first time in a while that you all as a board established a results policy that was updated. And when you did that, you chose 5 goals. You chose 9th grade on track, graduation rate, 3rd grade reading, sense of belonging, and attendance. That's been what we have grounded all of our work in. You will not be able to find a school leader that doesn't know the board goals. After you guys adopted those goals, we had a round of community engagement that was related to a different topic, but we, on a large scale, asked people to talk about which goals resonated with them the most. And that included both community discussions and it also included a survey. But this was after you guys had already adopted your goals. It was more a question of this set of 5, what do you think about it? What do you value most? In that, what we learned was that sense of belonging was the overwhelmingly chosen, most valued of the 5 goals amongst parents, amongst students, and heavily favored amongst staff. That is a different process than the one you're talking about right now. Now what you're doing is considering basically a renewal and a reset of the board's goals. And you're considering the question of, if there were 5 before, and I would say it is unwise to do more than 5 because you get to the point where we're just spreading our resources so thin, we cannot make progress. If you choose 5, which are the 5 that you choose this time? Because we believe it is a good idea to stay generally coherent with the state accountability so we don't end up with a system that's spread across 2 different accountability processes. Then you're looking at the set that Jonathan walked you through. Sense of belonging is not a state one. That would be one that if you value it this much as a board today, or you believe that it is central to our work, that you would choose it outside of any of the state selections. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thanks. So I'm thankful for the clarification of that, and that it's not also a state requirement, that we're kind of in the air as I understand what that is going to be, the HB 141 exactly. So in my mind, I think of being proactive. So then also along with that, if that's kind of where our reasoning, where we came to that conclusion here in our recommendations, I recall that and that time 2.5 years ago, and I remember from the multiple staff and community members that they felt that the questionnaire directed respondents to identify a primary outcome. And so then I think of, well, how much value is that really? And so then as far as clarifying on his, I thought he was asking, hey, if we're going to choose as a board to keep sense of belonging up here, because we know how much out of those 5 outcomes or requests from the board, that sense of belonging has always maintained in our conversations top of the conversation chart. And then we have been talking about the outcome. Can we talk about what might be then at least included in that sense of belonging to try to capture more of, instead of specified targeted groups that we've been focusing on sense of belonging that we have in our discussions, and kind of broadening that out to try to play with engaging more of actually all of our students, like things that aren't like CTE style stuff like the high schools have, and like the kids are here talking about today.
Sense of belonging is a nationally normed survey that is given to all students.
Mm-hmm. So sorry, so again, the clarifying, so are we're welcome to talk about, if we choose it, what could come under the sense of belonging, or is that not feasible for the district?
It's just a nationally normed survey. It's like it's a survey that school districts all throughout the country buy into. We don't choose what goes into it. It's not a program-based measure. It's an affective measure. So I'm looking right now at the elementary sense of belonging survey, and we had about, I think it was about 7,000 students respond. They all responded to the same questions. They respond to the same questions that the rest of the country responds to too. And that's part of what makes us like this measure, is it helps us know not just how our students are doing within a school or within a district, but also be able to look at it compared to other school districts that are like ours.
So that's useful to us. If they say sense of belonging, do they get to add what types of things make them feel belong? Do we ever get to hear that from the
So I'm going to give you just a sense of what is in this. This is a small sample. It is a very comprehensively designed survey. So if we're looking at just one domain of it, and this is the elementary version, how much support do adults give you? How much do you feel like you belong in your school? How well do people at your school understand you as a person? How much respect do students at your school show you? Do you have a family member or another adult outside of school who you can count on to help you? Do you have a friend at school who you can count on to help you? This gives you a sense of the kind of questions that Panorama asks, and it helps us understand on a relative basis and on basis over time how our students are feeling about themselves as learners in a school community.
Thank you. All right. Director Chanjagiri has a question.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, over the years, we have used panorama data, and thank you, I appreciate that. Now we are sitting on ton of data. It's not that we don't have a baseline data. The question I really would like, coming from this discussion is there a way for this, if we select that as one of the goals, rather than just coming and sharing the survey result, what if we set a high target and intentionally kind of standardize or find a way to map what intervention we are offering, so that at some point in time, if as a board we have to allocate resources, we know which resources are, what's the return on investment in some type of resource, or if you all want to scale up something, there is a way for us to know. So that is one reason it is important to understand just screening without intervention or intentionally using certain culturally informed, or which is popular among students and families, or just like what we heard. That's one part of it. So at least one we should take which really has benefit in different areas. That's why I love this sense of belonging. The second thing is, simply doing it just because state asked us to do, then what is the use of local authority? I mean, the sense, parents in this community are saying sense of belonging is very important. State didn't even mention that. So we need to have some kind of local control over our children. Otherwise, we will lose sight of why should we have a school board, right? So that's one reason, as I represent the children and families, so I have to voice that, saying we need to have something that is local. Otherwise, it'll be just rubber stamping whatever state pushes our way. I have a different way of asking a question. When you say there is a K2 regular attendance and K12 regular attendance, both the state wants us. I'm just thinking from a return on investment. The younger the children start, I hope younger the children starts attending class, get used to it. They will, I'm asking this question is, will they develop a lifelong habit of showing up and being friends with each other, or it'll help them in their health and education and set them on a good trajectory, as opposed to just diluting our effort on K-12 and then trying to essentially go and look for children and kind of bring them, because already the things have set in. Because not all absenteeism is the same in I wonder if it's not the same. Some may have different reasons. So do you mind clarifying K2 has more return on investment as opposed to diluting our limited resources for K-12, I guess?
I think what I'll do is I'll answer the two sort of technical questions, but then also artfully redirect that conversation back to the board.
Thank you.
Because I think this is exactly the type of conversation that we want you all to have and us to be the active listeners in. So from the perspective of K2 regular attendance, yes, there's strong research to suggest that strong early habits for attendance do persist. And I think the other question was around what we would do with that. And so I think from that perspective, if the board sets a priority and aggressive goal, we would then go back and replan our strategies relative to that outcome target. Right now, as an example, sense of belonging is a relatively incremental goal. So our work and our progress and our strategies are focused on that incremental improvement. If the board chooses to have that be a more priority goal, that would change our approach, and it would fundamentally change what our schools are focused on. In the same way that if the board says we are going to remove sense of belonging as a local metric, it would also change our results. It's not that we wouldn't focus on it at all. It would just mean not something that comes up in front of the board as an accountability metric that we're prioritizing for its own sake.
So if I could just clarify to make sure that I'm understanding that correctly. So the K2 attenders, K12 attenders, graduation of 5-year completers, those are all activities, those are all still being monitored, guided, and are driving the work of the district. It just is not what's getting reported under the metric itself.
To the board for the purpose of the superintendent's evaluation.
Yeah. Thank you. to the
Yes,
board.
If I can add here, although I do appreciate that Jonathan keeps mentioning the superintendent's evaluation, as the superintendent, I will say, what matters to me the most is what we are telling our schools matters the most. And when we tell our schools, here are your 5 goals, they are what we are all focusing on. We're telling the story to them about how we are investing our people, our time, and our money. And that's why this is actually such a consequential decision for the board, because you're setting it, actually resetting or re-upping on a commitment around focus and stability for our school system as a whole, including the work that our school leaders are doing.
Thank you. And Director Chanchagiri, and then, did I see another hand down here? Oh, no. Okay.
Sorry, just to clarify, are we still on the question?
Well, we've drifted a little bit, I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to work on my directions. We have drifted a little bit. So do you have a question or do you have a comment? A comment? Perfect. Well, we have kind of moved into that area, so I'm going to turn this over to discussion. How's that? And Director Chanchagiri, and then we'll do Student Advisor McMahon.
So if I understand right, we are still doing K-12 attendance. We have been doing it. Now, that is not, so you can continue doing it, but for the board focus, by keeping our focus on K-2, the way I see it is going to be a higher return on investment over the long run. That cohort will get used to coming to school and showing up in school. Here is the reason. I saw the numbers that you need to accomplish to kind of close the gap. It's like 847 or something like that. So, I mean, and that could be the focus. Because to me, superintendent evaluation is a district evaluation. It's not that we are just evaluating superintendent. This is the way we are thinking in terms of long-term and thing. And then sending that clarity of message in a time when we are fiscally challenged, saying this is what we'll be using for evaluation as superintendent or the district, but they can continue the practice of everybody show up and things like that. Over the years, I've seen it's a lot harder for high schools. Even if you try your best, by the time the pattern, I wonder if the pattern has set in that it's a lot harder to get them to school. So I think from an evaluation point of view, where we show as a top target for district evaluation or / superintendent evaluation, we can be laser focused on this. The numbers are a lot easier, and we can eventually create a cohort that has a good pattern. That does not stop the district from K-12 attendance options that they have been doing all throughout the year. So this is why I would really like to see, because anytime, the way I see, the younger the children, if you intervene, it sets the base for future patterns. And if you wait too long, it becomes more as a tertiary intervention rather than a primary or a universal intervention. So this is why I would like that to be one of the good focus.
Great, thank you. And Student Advisor McMahon.
I just had a proposal for which local metric we should choose. I think out of the 5 options, I think bilingual and multilingual proficiency would be a good local metric to focus on, because our district is a community that thrives, like you said, off of many bilingual students. And I think if we focus on bilingual and multilingual proficiency, that will help strengthen our community engagement, and also it's very beneficial because Salem has many bilingual people. It will also prepare our students for future careers and open up many opportunities for them as well.
Thank you, appreciate it. Director Richardson, did you have a comment?
My son graduated from Salem-Keizer Public Schools in 2006. 12 years ago, he interviewed with Delta Airlines. When he came out of that interview, he called me and he says, "Mom, Salem-Keizer has to get serious about all of the languages that they have and making sure students take their languages serious. When he went into that interview, they took the interviewees in teams. He said, out of the 4 people that interviewed, 3 of them could speak 2 to 3 languages. And he says, Mom, I could only speak English and use my charisma. He says, go back and tell our students that they need to take their second languages seriously.
Thank you.
So does that
Appreciate
mean
it.
I can speak in Hindi tomorrow?
Come on, teach me something.
And Director Parker.
I was just going to make a comment about the priority goals are really important. I mean, education, I see through, 3rd grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. I mean, that's, always been our goals to increase the education levels. But I also keep going back to the K-12 regular attenders. I know we keep talking about it, but to me, it seems like we got to get them here so they can learn the 3rd grade, the 8th grade, the 9th grade, to be on 9th grade on track, and then having a sense of belonging. I realize that, you keep saying that's not an outcome, but to me, regular attenders to me is very, very important, along with the sense of belonging. And then also I see that the 3rd grade ELA is a good goal to go with the biliteracy, because they kind of go hand in hand, because if you can teach the 3rd grades, then they'll end up being biliterals, which is an attainable goal, which I do see is good, but I do really feel the strongness of the regular attenders and sense of belonging. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Guzman-Ortiz.
Thank you, Chair. I echo a lot of my fellow board members. And I'm staring at the color-coded blue language, right? 3rd grade ELA, 8th grade math, and 9th grade on track. And I think about, and maybe some of this is my social worker hat, right? Of thinking upstream, of how can we support, how can we solve the issues upstream so that we can get in front of the barriers and the issues. And I think that's a little bit of where I feel a little bit of this tension with the attendance component, because similarly to Director Parker, if students are coming through the doors, then we can support in all of these areas. And I'm also hearing very strongly from the district on, it doesn't mean that we're losing focus, but it's about what do our school leaders, what are our educators focused on. And I think that's a good call out for us, and that does bring the question to me then of, all right, if these are on PGTs, then what is our continued role as a board and as a district, right? Not necessarily at the classroom level, although it includes, to support our community, to support our families in making sure that children are continuing to come through the door. And so I think in some ways I can see how that for us what is our role, right? And so it's just the dividing, what are the roles? What is the classroom role? What is the school role? What is our board role to make sure that students and families are supported to make it through the doors? So that's a little bit how I'm making meaning of this. 9th grade on track, we've talked about this 3 years ago around just how significant of a predictor it is for high school graduation, so I feel strongly about that. I mean, 8th grade math, our numbers are dismal and they need work, and so I am making sure that our schools know that this is something we're focusing on. I do believe it's gonna help us push those numbers up, as we have seen with 3rd grade ELA, right? We're not where we want to be yet, but we have seen an improvement over the last few years as well, and because that energy and that effort has been there. So this is not easy, and in some ways it feels like, we're choosing one thing over another. I'll speak also support the sense of belonging there. I did have a little bit of a question on why we didn't have the percentage for the target focal groups on that, and is that just because we haven't disaggregated them yet?
It's a great clarifying question. It's something that we will calculate if the board asked us to move forward that with one of the metrics. We have the underlying raw data, but because it's locally calculated, we're trying to essentially recreate a similar metric to what the state has. The tool doesn't have combined focal group as a metric, so we're recompiling it. If we do move forward with that as a board goal, we will bring back in the next read the very specific baseline and targets.
Okay, thank you. That was unclear to me. And I guess just to that one of, I understand that these are incremental goals, and I would consider, I guess I would want to hear a little bit more maybe from the district on what does it mean to increase that a few more points. Not, perhaps not at the aggressive rate of 7.9 like we have on ninth grade on track for the target goal, but for it to be a little bit more than 2, just again thinking about when students feel a sense of belonging, they're engaged in learning, but also knowing that when they're engaged in learning, there's a sense of belonging. So none of this, it's a chicken and egg thing. You hear it continuously, but appreciate you all board members. This is just, it feels hard, but it's so, so important, and I think that's where the questions, the confusion, and even the emotion comes through.
Director Fuller.
Thank you. I'm going to kind of flip it a little bit and say sense of belonging is, if you feel like you belong somewhere, you want to go there. Your attendance will increase. So many other things will increase, and just with the building of self-confidence and identity, feeling like you belong somewhere and you are appreciated and part of it really goes a long ways. I understand that it's difficult to kind of measure, but I like the standardized survey across the entire country, because then we know what we're dealing with. And I think about, when Director Chandagiri was talking about the interventions, when you say something is wrong or you're feeling a certain way, if you get shuffled into a series of interventions, they may or may not work. But sense of belonging doesn't. It's not a flow chart. It's not a path. It's a human heart and feeling. And I don't know. I think if you start to open up the definition of that, and decide to tell people what it means to belong, you kind of lose sight of that a little bit. And so I really like that you ask a student these questions and they tell you how they're feeling, and then you work with them one-on-one with the resources within the school to try to overcome that. I think it's beautiful. I really support sense of belonging staying. The seal of biliteracy, I think it's amazing that our district provides that. It's something that is really hard to attain even for adults to get. But I'm wondering why we're going to focus so much resources on something that so few students are able to get. And I don't know that much about it. This is simply my thoughts working through my head in real time into this microphone, which is humbling, I guess, to say. But that's where I guess if someone could talk me out of this. If somebody could tell me how valuable that is and why it's so great, and why we want to focus so many resources on one thing that not very many students get. Does that? I'm not trying to say it's not important. I'm not trying to say, Director Richardson, I know how important languages are. I just, when we are struggling with other test scores and other areas, it seems disproportional, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Chair,
Respectfully, disproportional.
Actually, what I'd like to do, because we are really at time that we've allowed on this agenda, Director McElroy, if you could perhaps respond to that initially, and then what I would like to do, board, because we are at time, then ask for sort of a follow-up in terms of the questions that you've been hearing that we'll come back to.
Yes, absolutely. The first thing I want to say about CLL by literacy is I think there's two core components as to why it's so important. One is the value of the community, of really acknowledging assets that our families have and helping them build and grow and demonstrate that true multiliteracy as an outcome in its own right. The second thing I will say to this is we also believe that language acquisition that happens in dual language programs that teach students in Spanish that they can then transfer over into English is actually a really strong and valid mechanism for moving English language literacy as well. So it's sort of a 2-for-1. It's a core value component as an outcome itself and a really strong means to an end of further deepening students' language acquisition in both Spanish and in English.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
And if I could just add one, I do want to correct one element of your assumptions on this. Please. We had almost 500 graduates earn it last year. This is actually not a district where a small number of students access this. We are a district that is so proud that so many of our students do.
Thank you. I didn't know the number. Yeah. I just saw the smaller metrics, so thank you.
So
we are at time.
can I just squeeze in a quick thing?
Well, what I would love for you to do is if you could email that to Ashley, then that will allow us the opportunity to get that on the record.
Will do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And Director McElroy, if you could maybe summarize some of the questions that you're hearing that you'll be following up on.
Yes. I think first and foremost, it's that it's so hard to pick and choose. And I heard that discussion really come out tonight, that every opportunity to prioritize one thing means we're not prioritizing something else in its stead. And I know that's incredibly hard when the stakes do matter this much. So thank you for engaging in that conversation. Some of the metrics that I did hear consistently rise as things we want to continue focusing on are things like third grade ELA, sense of belonging, and I think even though there was some discussion on the math one, continuing to realize that that is an important part of students' long-term goal and focus and readiness for college and career and beyond. I think the one thing that sort of sits there is potentially maybe two things. One, if we wanted to re-examine slightly more than incremental goals in our incremental ones, so CLL by literacy and sense of belonging, that's something that we can look at. And then two, I don't think there was consensus around a attendance metric, either K-12 or K-2, but a lot of conversation of maybe one of those. I think what we can do is come back with another draft and an alternative and look at those two things side by side, give a little bit more of a choice point and a little bit more of an understanding of what the trade-offs would be if we chose one or the other. But based on the conversation tonight, I didn't hear anything very specific about we're going to trade out one metric for another.
Wonderful. Beautiful recap. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And colleagues, thank you for the conversation. And this truly is a difficult conversation to have and one that will have a long-standing thing that we're looking at. So appreciate the diligence on that. All right, I'm going to move us forward to our consent calendar. So Superintendent Castaneda, do you wish to provide any further review of the items listed?
I do not, thank you.
Thank you. All right, at this time, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented. Yes. Director Richardson.
I move that we approve the consent calendar as presented.
Great, thank you very much. And do we have a second?
You don't need it. You don't
Actually,
need it.
I think we do need a second
We
for
do?
the consent. We
Okay,
do.
I'll second it.
Thank you, appreciate that. So we have a first and by Director Richardson and a second by Director Chanjagiri. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, looks like it was unanimous. All right, thank you very much. As a reminder, the next agenda item is our information and standard reports, and you have received everything in your packet for your review ahead of time. Superintendent, do you have anything to add?
Very briefly, the summer, as always, the summer graduation event was full of pride and joy. I'm sure some of you will speak about it in your board reports, but you'll see that there is a report on that here.
Wonderful. Thank you. Really appreciate that and appreciate the report. All right, well, we're going to move forward to our favorite part on the agenda, and I'm going to actually ask our student advisors who will be starting school really soon to kick this portion off, and then we'll just go down the line, and then I will follow up at the end.
Okay. Well, obviously we're not in school right now, but I am very excited for the upcoming school year to come. I don't have a lot of actual things to report on right now since I'm not in school, but there's a lot of things that are starting to get worked on, and I'm excited. Yes, it'll be a great school year.
Awesome, thank you.
Same thing. We haven't started school, but I've been working with Chris Moore on some surveys of sense of belonging, and then I'm also been working with my McKay admin for our student government retreat, and then also getting everything ready for our first principal advisory meeting, since we're having a new principal, so she's getting used to how it works and stuff. And yeah, I don't really have much right now.
All right, that's awesome, thank you. Well, next time around, you guys are going to have lots to report on the first day of school. Awesome, all right, Director Fuller.
Thank you. I hope you guys train the principal well. Okay. It's been a crazy hot summer that's gone by really fast, and these last couple weeks I've spent some time in some small, I think they're called micro-gathering groups is what you call them, where the school district has been going out into the community and engaging with smaller groups, 3 to 4, 5 to 6 maybe at a time. And I was able to sit in on or co-host a couple of those, and it was just about an hour and a half of just really rich conversation about what we want our community schools to be. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity to have been able to do that. Not only did I learn a lot, but I made some really good connections and some new friends. So I'm really glad I was able to do that. We're moving into the school year as well for people who have kids. We go back to school. Parents go back to school too. Today, he's going to get mad at me for mentioning this, but my oldest son went to the kickoff at North for freshmen. And so we are starting high school. And it was just such a fun feeling to drive down, the street past the school and, hey, see all the kids out there again. I'm really looking forward to school starting up again and some cooler weather. I think that's all I have to say. It's just I'm riding out the last days of summer, trying to take it easy. I know we've got a big year coming up, so trying to do a little bit of self-care to build up some reserve for when we're going to need it.
Thank you so much. Director Parker.
Yes, as Mel says, I'm excited about the upcoming year and all the new ventures that come along and the new games and the new plays and all the new things to see for the next coming year. We just got done with our board retreat on Saturday. That went really well. I'm enthused about that and how our upcoming year is going to be. I had the opportunity to help with family building blocks to make gift bags for the last Saturday, the River Fest. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And then just going downtown, seeing like they had the hoop, watching the young kids play basketball, which was a lot of fun. Then they had some little craft fairs going on Saturdays and stuff, watching all the amazing little trinkets that the kids can make and everything. So that's been good. So I've just kind of been enjoying the last few days of my summer. Thank you.
Thank you. And Director Guzman-Ortiz.
Thank you. I'm going to beat you all to it who were there at the summer graduation. I just briefly, it was lovely to be there last week and celebrate our high school students who pushed through some summer weeks to finalize their credits and walk that stage. It was a combination of students from all of our high schools, and it just makes me really proud of them and their perseverance. We never know their full stories, but my assumption is always that it has not been easy. And also just kudos to the principals who were there and all of the educators who support them throughout the summer to make sure that they push through. There are students there who, maybe have come back, maybe are on their 13th year or, pushing 21 sometimes, and it just says a lot that they have continued to show up and that our district is there to recognize them as well. And I know that's some feedback that we got from parents of just thank you for doing this, because it speaks volumes to how much we want to celebrate them. And echo the board summer retreat was lovely. It was great to spend time with all of you, get to be in conversation, and prepare for what we know is going to be a challenging and difficult year when it comes to school closures. But I know that we will do the best that we can with the information that we have in this moment and with the ongoing community feedback that we get. So thanks to our community for also listening in and staying engaged. I would recommend listening at 2 times speed, though.
And Dr. Richardson.
I am just thrilled to continue to be a part of the board. The summer retreat was just outstanding. I really have a better understanding of all of the measures that will be used, that we will be looking at in order to determine and make recommendations on school closures. I have a much better understanding of why it's so important that we take measures and action now instead of waiting till later. It's just really good to be in a district that really informs us and includes us and allows us to have the information we need to make the decisions that we need to make. The other thing was the summer graduation. I want to thank our superintendent for allowing us to be able to be a part of it. We were able to speak to the students and to encourage them and to thank them for their perseverance and for not giving up. I know it's hard. I was a high school principal 14 years, so I know that you get right there at the door sometimes and you just want to throw in the towel. But when you can convince kids that it's worthwhile to complete that graduation and to know that they can do it, they will do it for you. I'm excited about a organization that I am a part of, Be Black Foundation. This week we are packing 500 backpacks with school supplies, and we'll be at the riverfront next Saturday giving out those backpacks to students who want to have their new backpacks and school supplies. So I'm excited about that.
Yes, I've been excited to have the honor and opportunity to be a part of a lot of mentor programs for our youth across the board from all ages, and it's really been a neat and humbling thing. I'm thankful for this position, cannot speak, to help me meet all these people and for them to have access to me. So I really appreciate hearing their questions and their thoughts and their heart in our community to make it better. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight and your voices, because I know I'm just amazed how many of you are still here. You stayed till the end. Minimal phone use. I'm like, okay, are we boring? Are we not? I really appreciate that, honestly, that engagement. It means a lot to us. It is awkward sometimes when you speak, we don't get to speak back. Know that we hear you and we do take it to heart, and it does matter. So I'm always trying to encourage people. Most of what I hear, they say it doesn't matter, they don't feel. So Anyway, so come as often as you would like. I was curious, I was glad that you touched on our community groups. Am I permitted to ask, so how the community would be able to, would they email the district to ask how and when that invite might come open and available to come to those little community events?
Could we hold that question until we're done with our board reports, and then I'll ask you to answer that? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
And that's all. Thanks.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much to Jennifer Parker. Proud of you. And thank you for all those who nominated her for this thing. This is really diversity and inclusion, trying to get some moderate voices and you know, different ideas together in the pool of information. I will be very happy to go along with you to all the school district, 13 of them, and campaign for you, because we still need votes, that's it, right? And they do have conservative communities and moderate communities, and that's how we should have a pooling of all different perspectives to make our region better. So thank you very much for those who did think of really this diversity, and I thank our chair for just this beautiful role model. I really appreciate the students from and the families from JROTC who came and shared. Please invite me, and I would love to come and see how it is. Such an exciting program. And I really want to say thank you to Superintendent and your team for that EL13. It is a good, it's a complex topic, and you all did a good job of putting it together in the form of an EL. And for those of you who didn't hear, please go listen to it. And it is such a good start, and we have ways to go. And I really appreciate that we have reached this far. And so it's a good feeling, and that retreat was certainly good. We had a good discussion, a very candid, open discussion. And so let's see how this moves forward. And I'm sure everybody values safety of our children, and we don't want our children having any needless and exclusionary discipline, because that can lead to long-term problems. So it's good. We can achieve all these goals if kids come to school, show up, and don't get into trouble, stay focused, and don't get into trouble outside the school, study well. So simple as that. All this can be achieved if you have safety and good, unnecessary discipline problems. Don't let us work with everybody so that every parent will be proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So I'll just wrap up. Several things that I was going to mention tonight have already been spoken to, but this summer has been just filled with lots of literacy events and opportunities for families in schools and in community, and it's just been a real joy to be a part of many of those opportunities to get more books and materials into the hands of children. And I just want to recognize, too, the community partners who are also helping to do that, because that's a big part of helping to ensure that our children have what they need to be successful. Also, the retreat that we were a part of, I just want to say thank you. It was a wonderful day together. Getting to know each other at a different level, the deeper level, and then also really establishing some ways that we want to conduct ourselves, because we know that it is through this process that is really going to help us this year as we are embarking on some really tough and challenging conversations. So thank you, everybody, for that. Likewise was at the summer graduation, and I share your sentiments, how meaningful it is to watch those additional approximately 100 students walk across the stage, and just with the pride that they had of themselves and their families. It was beautiful to be a part of that. Finally, I had the opportunity to attend just a portion of the kickoff with administrators and with district staff and principals, and heard the keynoter, Dr. John Dacey. Is that correct? Okay, can't read my own writing. And I left in that short period of time just incredibly inspired for the work that we have together as a district and as a community. And a couple of things that he said that I've repeated several times, actually, and I think this year is calling us on really to lean into the courage quotient. We have got to really lean into and be strong in who we are and who we can be for our community and for our children. And that was just really a shot in the arm I certainly needed. And also, literacy is a moral choice. And I've been focusing a lot on that because in my day job, I do a lot with early childhood and really helping to focus in on that. And it's really around literacy that all things begin to roll. And I just am so proud of the work that we as a district have done to really hone in on our literacy practices and our curriculum and really sharpening those pieces. And I'm already excited about what our scores might be, just to kind of see now that we've done things a little bit differently, but more importantly, just watching those continue to grow. So I am ending the summer really inspired for this year. So, all right. So with that, you were going to follow up on Chrissy's or Director Hudson's question. I'm getting high signs going this way and that.
Aaron is going to respond.
All right, Aaron.
Sure. Hopefully this works. I cannot seem to overpower a cable here. Yes, so thank you, Director Fuller, for bringing up the micro gatherings. Thank you for the assistance. Okay, that works. Yeah, so this is a unique approach that we're taking to doing some deep listening with our community, parents, staff, community leaders, volunteers, and our goal is to get to at least 500 people that we listen to, and we'll start engaging additional parents and students as we get into the school year. But to do it in a very intentionally small session, as Director Fuller said, like just 4, 5, 6 people, and it creates an environment where we can truly listen. We listen to each other. It's facilitated, and then you get to watch and listen in on a conversation of some people who know each other and some people who don't know each other, and listen to their vision, their hopes, and their dreams for the future of youth and schools in our community. This is all helping to feed into a longer-term vision that will lead into long-term strategic planning. It is intentionally not meant to be engagement for the things that we know are coming for this coming school year and the next school year. And with that, so it is a structured format. We are running these nearly every day in the small groups. And we are working through our invite list, and Director Hudson and anyone else, we will continue to take more recommendations and suggestions, and also look for ways for us to expand our list. One of the approaches that we gathered names was to go to each school principal and say, who are some people that we should talk with? If you think you should be on that list and you haven't received an invitation yet, it's because we're working our way through that list. But we're really interested in reaching as many people as possible.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Beautiful. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for your engagement this evening. Really appreciate it. And the time is 8:19, and I'll draw us to a close.
Thank you. Good job.